All right, mate, how you doing? Welcome back to another video. This is my Euro 2020 predictions video, or Euro 2021. You know, it's happening in 2021. It's supposed to happen last year. You get the gist. You know, we only get to do these international tournament predictions every couple of years, so I'm looking forward to it. Where am I going to predict England to finish? Who am I going to predict to win the whole thing? Got a few other categories in there for you as well. We're going to do top goal scorer, player of the tournament, young player of the tournament. We're going to look at some underdogs who could win it, maybe in a surprising fashion, and some people that might overachieve a little bit or catch us off guard and stand out when we don't think they would. So to start, to choose our winners of the tournament, we're going to use the UEFA website's predictor tool to go through the tournament, work out how people are doing the groups and so on until we find an eventual winner. So let's look at it. Group A, Switzerland, Turkey, Wales, Italy. Not the strongest group. Remember, the key thing about these Euros, just like in the last Euros competition in Euro 2016, is there's 24 teams in 6 groups, which means a lot of third place teams go through. So you're only guaranteed out of the group stage if you finish 4th. Some third teams will make it through, so we've got to take that into consideration. Anyway, Group A, I'm going with Italy to be the table toppers. And Italy have got an exciting young squad under Roberto Mancini. I think they're going to have a good tournament. I'm going to go with Turkey to finish second in this group. Wales as a home nation in third, maybe making out the group. Switzerland are going to be 4th for me. In Group B, we've got Russia, Belgium, Denmark, Finland. Okay, Finland are going to be rank outsiders for me. We'll put them 4th straight away. Looking at the rest of the positions, Belgium stand out as potential group winners. Hopefully for them, Kevin De Bruyne will be fit. Will Eden Hazard play his best stuff? As usual, their defence is a bit of a question mark for me, but going forward, they're a joke, obviously, with Lukaku, who's had a great season. In second place in Group B, I'm going Denmark. Keep an eye out for Denmark. I think they're looking solid, particularly in the midfield. And in third place for Group B, I'm going to go Russia. Okay? So Group C, Austria, North Macedonia, Ukraine and Netherlands. I'm going to have Netherlands topping this group, and I would have Netherlands going quite deep in this tournament if they had Van Dijk. Obviously, no Van Dijk for this summer, which is going to hurt them. North Macedonia are going to be at the bottom. Then I'm going to go Austria second, Ukraine third. Group D next, and that's England's group, and it's a tight group. I am going to go with England as table toppers, and I think it would be ridiculous if we didn't get out the group. Even if we finish third, we should still get out. So, I mean, let's be realistic. I'm trying to be realistic as much as possible, but England have to get out this group. It will be the biggest disaster maybe ever in a tournament if we don't get out this group. I'm not saying it's a really easy group, because I respect the other teams in it, but the fact that you can finish third and still get out, there's no excuses here. With the squad we've got, so England are going to top it. I'm going to go Croatia second. Obviously, there's that rivalry there. They knocked us out the World Cup semi-final. A lot of their prime players are aging a little bit past their peak now. Whereas England, I feel like we're stronger than we were in 2018. We've got new players we didn't have back then. And even the ones that are a bit older are better. We've only got 3 players in the England squad that are over 30. Kyle Walker, Kieran Trippier, Jordan Henderson. And they're only just over 30. So it's a young squad. I'm going to go, even though I love the Czech boys, the Souček and the Soufal from West Ham, I am going to go with Scotland to get out in third. I hope they do it. Obviously, I want to make sure England beat Scotland, but I am rooting for Scotland as my second team in this tournament because, as I've mentioned, I've got a little bit of Scottish in me. Group E, Spain to win it, Poland second, Sweden without Zlatan, even though he came out of international retirement, he's got injured, so he's not going to be involved. Slovakia 4th. Group F is the group of death. And this could go so many different ways. I'm very confident Hungary will finish bottom, although you never know, but we're going to go Hungary 4th. If I was a bookies, I'd probably say the winner is likely to come out of Group F, the winner of the whole tournament. I'm not saying they will, I'm saying it would be a good bet to take because 3 amazing teams. France, current world champions, got to the final last time out. Portugal beat them in the final last time out, the current European champions. And Germany, whilst they're not at their absolute pomp anymore, they've got some exciting young players coming through, along with a lot of experience as well. So it's not counting them out. Having said that, I am going to have Germany, in my prediction at least, to finish third. Okay? And this is tough, but I'm going to go France to win the group, Portugal second. Well, I really like the Portugal team. It actually scares me. Now, there's one thing that's really important to stress. Obviously, this predictor is going to see who goes through where. With England's position, you could argue it's actually worse for England to win our group. Because if we win our group, we play the second best team from Group F, the group of death. Whereas if we come second in our group, we play second place from another group. You want to avoid that group of death, really, as long as possible. Any teams from it, unless it's Hungary. The only advantage to us winning our group is it means more knockout games for us will be played at Wembley, which obviously is a home advantage, even though it's not a full capacity stadium. So personally, there is an argument to say finishing second in our group might be better for us long term to go further into the tournament. That being said, if we want to win it, we've got to be prepared to beat anyone. Right, next, we need to predict which of the third place teams are going to go through. There's 4 spots from 6 teams. We'll go Germany. Now, it's not necessarily about ability here. It's about how many points they've picked up in their group. So Germany being the best team of that 6 doesn't necessarily mean they'll be the best third place finish team if France and Portugal take a load of points off them. Does that make sense? So I'm expecting Germany to get at least 3 points because they're going to beat Hungary. Maybe pick up another point. 3 points in third spot might be enough. We're going to go Germany. We're going to back Wales. We're going to back Scotland. We're going to give Scotland a go. And I'm thinking, oh, it's Russia, Ukraine, or Sweden. Russia, Ukraine, or Sweden. I'm going to go with Russia, I think. No, I'm actually going to go Sweden. I'm going to go Sweden. Okay, so they're my best 4 place teams. Now we move on to knockout stage. So what does that mean for the games? Belgium versus Sweden, Italy versus Austria, France versus Wales, Croatia, Poland, Spain, Scotland, England, Portugal. Even though I wanted to avoid that, my predictions have made it happen. Netherlands, Germany, great game. Turkey, Denmark. I'm going to go Belgium to beat Sweden. Italy, Austria, I'm going Italy. France, Wales, I'm going France. Croatia, Poland. Could go either way, that one. But I'm going to go with Croatia. That's a repeat of the World Cup final, by the way. Spain, Scotland, we're going Spain. England, Portugal. Now, for me, if this game happens, whoever wins it could go all the way to the final at least. And it's going to affect a lot of my latter predictions in this video. I'm really quite torn on it. I'm trying to be objective. I think both squads are very good. I think I've got real worries for England if we don't have Harry Maguire. I know if he's not back, we're probably going to play a back 3, which will make us more solid, but there will be side effects to that. And also, when you look at the Portugal front 3, you've got like Jota, you've got Ronaldo, you've got Felix, they've got Diaz at the back. You could go either way on this. I'm going to go England. I'm probably being a little bit biased there, but I feel like we could beat Portugal on our day, even though they could definitely beat us too. But we're going to back England, even though I think either team could go far in the tournament. Netherlands, Germany, that's a tough one. I'm going to go Germany. And then Turkey, Denmark, I'm going to back Denmark, okay? So what does that mean after this? Belgium, Italy. That's actually tighter than you think, you know. And I've got a feeling Italy are going to make a bit of a run in this tournament. And even though Belgium are currently ranked first on the FIFA World Rankings, I'm going to go with Italy. Even though it hurts me, and even though it's always a Belgian, in this case, it's always an Italian. France, Croatia, we're going to go France. Spain, England. If we can beat Portugal, we can beat Spain. I'll tell you that. We're going to go England. Germany, Denmark. I fancy Denmark, but Germany will come through. What a couple of semi-finals they are. It probably won't go this way, but Italy, France, and England, Germany. I'm going France, and I'm going England. I know I'm going to get some stick for that. I know I'm going to get some stick, but it's all about this Portugal game. If it happens and we get through it, we can go the distance. But likewise, you could substitute Portugal in here. I think Portugal could beat Spain, and I think Portugal could beat Germany. So basically, I'm saying is if it goes like this, the final is going to be either France, England, or France, Portugal. But with this prediction, on one-off game, could England win it? By then, if we've got a fit Maguire, maybe even a fit Henderson as well in the team, could England win the Euros? I tell you what, we've got as good a chance now as we've ever had. I'm not saying we're the favourites, and I'm not saying we're going to do it. But I think we've got the best chance we've had in my lifetime. We had a great Euro 96 campaign. We got to the semi-finals, lost on penalties. I think our squad might be better now. We also had the home advantage for that whole campaign and full stadiums. Not like what we're going to have here. Even though we're going to play a lot of games at Wembley, they won't be full. My final prediction for the final, if England are in it, we could win it. But I'm going to try and make this video as accurate as possible. And if I'm trying to be an accurate prediction here, I'm going France. I go France to win, and I go England as runners-up. But equally, it could be France, Portugal. That's my prediction. We'll see how close I am. So we've got France as tournament winners. For my dark horses section, a team that maybe could win it, that we're not necessarily expecting to win it, I'm going to go Italy, okay? Because I think Italy are going to get certainly quarterfinals, maybe semis, maybe final, maybe go the distance. They've got a young squad. Of course, they've got the experience of the likes of Chiellini in there, but they've got people like Barella from Inter Milan, Bastoni from Inter Milan. Good, solid young players. Chiesi from Juventus. And Donnarumma, I think he's still only 22 years old. He's obviously now the #1 goalkeeper for them. So experienced at that age. I'm not saying they're definitely going to win it. I'm just saying, as a dark horse that could win it, that isn't probably in the... I'd say the favourites right now are France, England, Portugal. In my head, they're the three. I'd say Italy are the guys I'm going to say are a dark horse to win. And then in my surprise package section, I'm not saying these guys are going to win. I'm saying they're going to go deep into the tournament, maybe surprise a few teams along the way. For me, this year, that's going to be Denmark. They've got a good history in the Euros traditionally, but more than that, I like their spine. Obviously, you've got Schmeichel in goal. And then we're looking at people like Christensen, just won the Champions League with Chelsea. The midfield area, Christian Eriksen, Højbjerg, Delaney from Dortmund. There is weak spots in their team, and I'm not saying they're going to win the tournament, but I think they're going to do well as one of the best of the rest, if that makes sense. Next up, it's my best player or my player of the tournament prediction. Now, as I've predicted France to win, I think I should probably go with a French player. And for me, it's between two. I'm looking at Kante and Mbappe. Kante, if he continues the form that he's shown in the last few stages of that Champions League into the international setup with France here, he's got every chance. He'll be a very popular winner. A lot of people love Kante, myself included. Harder for him to stand out in games, but I feel like France's goals are going to come from a number of sources. Mbappe's obviously a strong outlet, but they've got Benzema back in there now. They've got Griezmann, of course. But this could be the tournament that Mbappe really announces himself as one of the best players in the world, if he hasn't done that already. I'm going to go with Mbappe purely because I think it's easier for him to stand out if he does get some goals and win some games, whereas Kante is a bit more in the background of things. Obviously, crucial in what he does, and if they do win, it'll be largely because of his work, but Mbappe's more likely to get the plaudits. It's usually, an attacking player that wins these things. But I can remember many years when that hasn't been the case. So one thing's for sure, if Kante does win best player or even just win the tournament in general, he's got a very good chance of winning the Ballon d'Or this year, considering he's just won the Champions League with Chelsea. So again, Mbappe, Kante in brackets for best player. For top goal scorer, you know how I've kind of been torn between England and Portugal as the other finalists? I think like they might play each other and it might go like that. Obviously, it could go another way. We might play France in that first knockout round. But based on my prediction here, I think England or Portugal are going to go deep in the tournament. And because of the way they set up and the way that I think their goals are going to come from less varied sources than France's goals are, I'm going to go with either Harry Kane or a player from Portugal. And for me, I'm torn between Cristiano Ronaldo and Diogo Jota. Now, Ronaldo's obviously an obvious choice. He's probably going to take penalties. But he hasn't always delivered in these tournaments in terms of scoring a lot of goals. So I actually think I would go with Jota over Ronaldo, potentially, if I was going with a Portuguese player. But I'm going to stay true to my English roots. I'm going to go Harry Kane to go back-to-back golden boots, because he did win the World Cup golden boot as well. So we're going to go Harry Kane for top scorer. And finally, for my best young player, well, if the final is France versus England, that means England have done amazingly well. Going from a semi-final in the World Cup to a final, that's progression. Maybe the perfect setup for a year from now or a year and a half from now, the World Cup in Qatar. And with our young players, it's going to look very good. I think, I'm not saying I would take runners-up spot now, because I'm optimist. I'd like to think we can win the whole thing. But it would still be a good tournament if we did come second. It'd be amazing. And if we do that, one man I think will be a big part of that, and he's definitely a young player, is Phil Foden. So I'm going to tip Phil Foden for young player of the tournament. Now, I know you're probably thinking, oh my God, you're just going loads of English predictions, England to get to the final, England to get top goal scorer and best young player. Yes, I am. But if you look at my other World Cup predictions and previous things, I haven't always gone this way. It's just my positivity about this squad. Now, could it all go wrong? Of course it could. I definitely think England will get out of the group. I think that's just unthinkable that we wouldn't. But we could definitely get knocked out first knockout round. I'm not blind to that fact, particularly if we win our group and go up against someone from the group of death. That's going to be a struggle. But I'm remaining optimistic, and I'm going to go Phil Foden for best young player. So they are my predictions, guys. Let me know what you think. Who have I missed out on? Is there a huge player that's going to have a great tournament that I'm not looking at here? Is there a team that are going to win the whole thing that I've not mentioned? I'm very excited for the Euros. You guys know I love international football. I'm going to be going to some games. I'll take you guys with me. I'll make some content from the matches. I'm going to the first group stage game, England versus Croatia, with my dad. Very much looking forward to that. And obviously I went to Russia for the whole month. I went to every England game and we did all right. So if we can have an experience like that again, it will be very, very enjoyable. Drop a like on this video if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe for more. Until next time, it's coming home. Come on, England. Don't go changing.